In this video, let us go deep dive into a very important Terraform function, which is called CIDR subnet, which is a built-in Terraform function. Terraform provides many such functions, which are helper functions when you write the Terraform script. So one of them is CIDR subnet, which is typically used to create subnets of different sizes. Maybe it's public, private, or database subnets, given a VPC. We will do a quick demo using the Terraform console, and we'll also write a simple code to create subnets of different sizes for a given VPC CIDR block, because every customer environment is different in terms of the maximum VPC CIDR size that they can allocate. It could be because of the organizational limits in RFC 1918 series, because they have to allocate the same IP space for many other applications in the cloud or in the on-prem. So they will have most of the time very small set of CIDR sizes for the VPC level. Then given that, then we have to create the subnets for private, public and database subnets in the same VPC. So how do we dynamically create those subnets using a simple logic or a simple algorithm? Because calculating the sizes and creating the this prefix is always a challenge, because it is confusing and error prone. So we will write a simple logic to do that. So the function is this CIDR subnet function. So if you look at the parameters, the first one is prefix. Prefix must be in a CIDR notation. So this could be 10.0.0.0/16, or it could be 192.168 series. It could be different series. So first is very straightforward. The second parameter is new bits. New bits is a number of additional bits with which to extend the prefix. So if you look at, if the prefix contains /16 and if the new bits is 4, so we simply add 16 plus 4, 20. So we are creating subnets of size /20 from the given prefix of /16. So this is also very straightforward. But the third parameter is a bit confusing and not easy to understand. So it says the netnum is a whole number that can be represented as a binary integer with no more than new bits binary digits. So what exactly does it mean? So that net number is an index into the prefix to create subnets, and the value of the net num cannot exceed the value of 2 power of new bits. So for example, if the new bits is 4 in this case, so the value of net num can be 0 to 15, because 2 to the power of 4 is 16. So the net num, which is the index into the prefix, should be always the lesser than the 2 to the power of new bits. So what exactly does it mean? So from a given prefix, we are creating those many number of subnets of size 20 here, 16 plus 20, 16 plus 4, sorry. So let us take an example to understand this. Let us say we have a VPC CIDR of size 10.0.0/16. Okay. Now let's go to the browser, and this is my VPC CIDR size. And if you see, there are 65,000 IPs in this CIDR block. Now let us say we wanted to divide once, so which will bring us two subnets of size /17, which is 32,000 IPs. Now if I further divide into these subnets, so it will be 4 subnets of size /18. So each subnet will have 16,000 IPs. Now let us say we wanted to create these 4 subnets in this VPC of size /16. Then how do we use this Terraform function in a programmatic manner so that these subnets are created? Because you do not want to create them manually, right? You wanted to have a function which will does that for you. So let's take an example. Here I'm taking the exact function name and the parameters. Now for the prefix, I'm taking 10.0.0/16, which is one of the commonly used CIDR size for VPC. And the new bits, I'm taking 2. And the net num, the value can be 0, 1, 2, 3. It cannot be 4. So 0 to 3 is basically less than the 2 to the power of the new bits, which is 2. So 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So the net num should be within 0, 1, 2, 3, which is less than 4. So that's the idea. So how does it work? So let us take an example. First, we need to add the 16, which is the CIDR size of the VPC, and the new bits, which is 18. Okay. Now, to create the subnets from this particular CIDR block, so this is an index. 0 is one index, first is another index. Index means the nth number of subnet in the CIDR block. So for example, I'll take the base prefix of 1000, which is the base prefix. Now, if I wanted to create a subnet for the first index 0, then I will start from this base and create a subnet of size /18, which is 16,000 IPs. Now for the second index 1, what we will do is we will calculate the next subnet size, which is it starts from 64.0. So the second subnet in the VPC starts from 64.0/18. So how does it work? For example, let me take a calculation. If I have, for example, the first 0 in the 4 dots is basically this octet, right? So octet means there will be 8 bits. So 2 to the power of 8 is 256 IPs in this particular 0 octet, right? Now 60, I'll just multiply with 64. Okay, so it will be 16,384, 16,000 IPs. So the next subnet should be only after the 16,000 IPs, that is starting from 64.0. Similarly, if I go further, the third subnet, which is the index 2, will be again 64 plus another 64, which is 128. So this is the starting base for the third subnet. And similarly for the last subnet, it will be 128 plus 64, which will be 192. So this is how you can create subnets of a given CIDR size from this function. So just to remember, first we need to add the new bits value to the initial CIDR size, which is 16. So this is a subnet size we are creating it, and the netnum is basically the index or the nth subnet from the given base prefix. So since the value of new bits is 2, 2 to the power of 4, so the netnum cannot exceed more than 3 because it has to be below 4. Okay, so only 4 values. So this is how, if I give 4 number here, the netnum, this function will fail. So this is what we will see in the lab. So let us proceed further to the lab using the Terraform console.